Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel if you've been here before. This is Living in Denver, Colorado. Today, while we're out, we've been covering a couple different things, but we've had a lot of questions on this. Usually every day we get some of these questions, so we want to cover it, but today we're going to get right into moving to Denver, Colorado. Should you move, or should you own, or should you rent? What's the difference? What does it look like? Let's get into it.
Renting versus buying. Here we go. All right, guys. Again, welcome to the channel. We are the Mile High Property Brothers. I am Eli Schmidt. This is my business partner, Will Grimes. And if it's your first time visiting the channel, we come out with new videos every Tuesday and Thursday, and we dive into everything there is to know about moving to Colorado, Denver, the surrounding areas and neighborhoods. And if you have not done so yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure you get notified every time we come out with a new video.
Correct. And as much as we love making these videos, we'd love more to help you guys with your real estate needs. With that being said, we're going to get right into it. A really hot topic, not only just in general, regardless of where you're moving, but specifically for us, all the emails we get, the comments we get, phone calls we're getting, at least every day, we've got an email, a text, or a phone call, and it's conversations wrapped around, should I rent or should I buy?
Correct.
And then we dive into their circumstances and really just try to come up with the best recommendations possible for them. However, there are a lot of just core pieces you should probably be thinking about, regardless of just personal, situations. There's some core pieces that are overall important. So we're going to get right into that. And hopefully this brings you guys some value in regards to every other video that we do. Hopefully just the logistics behind those two thoughts, we bring some peace of mind for you now.
A lot of people think is that they want to come in and they want to rent for a year in Colorado to kind of get a feel for the place before making a decision to buy. And not a terrible idea. We actually do recommend that to a lot of people. However, not everybody. So there's a couple ideas we want to share with you to kind of give you just a little bit shift of perspective. So I was having a conversation with someone that watches our channel the other day, and he was saying, I just don't really know the cities, so I'm thinking of renting for a year before I buy to see if I like it or not. And two things to that. So the first thing is, you don't even want to be renting for 12 months in an area that you don't like. So that's the first point is, if you're going to be renting or buying, you don't want to be anywhere you don't like, right? But what a lot of people don't realize is that there are so many short-term, like 1 to 3 month rental opportunities out here. So let's say that you have no clue where you want to live. Eli and Will's videos don't make you feel comfortable at one spot over another. You really just want to get here.
If we don't make it, that's a whole nother. If you don't feel comfortable by our videos, we haven't painted that picture for you. That's a whole other conversation. True. We need to sit down and have that talk.
But what you can do is get a month Airbnb. Your stuff goes into storage. You live here for a month. And then that box is immediately checked. Okay, cool. We know we're going to Colorado. We know we're not overcommitted, even 12 months to a place. It's not that much more expensive than even a month's rent, but you can get in for a month and then get a feel. And whether you're gonna rent or buy, then you get to come out and feel what those areas really feel like.
Maybe, right? But depending on rates right now, depending on how competitive it is, depending on how smooth you can get into a home, I don't know, like I'm looking at a lot of natives in Colorado or natives from anywhere else, but I've got a lot of friends that are just native of Colorado. They've been here their entire life. I've known them 30 years. And even they've moved into different areas around the Denver metro area because they liked it, but then they grew out of one area and wanted to go to another.
True.
I don't think we ever make up our mind and that's just it. So for me, like if you're just unfamiliar with areas and there's a couple of areas that you like, but you're a little indecisive, like you're not stuck in that home. But what I like is equity. What I like is your home making you money, and I like real estate for the business side of it and building wealth through that, and just being smart with it. And a lot of people too, from what we've seen through the history, 1 year on a lease, very quickly turns into just a second year because you're not prepared to move, or you're too busy, or it's a hassle. Most people don't stay somewhere for, you know, a year. They end up staying for 2. If you're getting to that point, like the equity you're gonna have in a home, especially in Colorado where you have appreciation rates for anywhere from 8% to 16%, that's equity you're gonna miss out on a home over the course of 2 years. And it didn't take you anything to do it, but just living there.
Well, so for those people who haven't experienced what equity is like yet, maybe you're a first-time home buyer, you've just been a renter up until this point and you're considering buying. Here's what equity means, guys. We had a client, he lived in a townhome in Aurora.
For 2 years.
For 2 years.
2 years and 1 month.
And he made what,
$72,000.
Yeah.
Paid off all his debt, put some money down on a bigger home for him and his kiddo and his wife, and it changed his life, paying off debt. Paid for his chef school. He didn't do anything more for that money. He just lived in that townhome in that area. Equity was there. Everything got competitive in Colorado. It was a good thing, and things are still competitive here. You're still gonna have equity here. So again, depending on your circumstances, well, hey, we're just not too familiar with this area, this area. Is this area better, or is this area better? I'll tell you right now, depending on your situation, if you're looking at Centennial, Highlands Ranch, Parker, Castle Rock, Southeast Aurora, they're all good. There's going to be a couple different things about them, but they're all phenomenal. You're not going to hate something. What you are going to hate is you rent and you get busy or whatever it may be, and 1 year turns into 2, and then you don't have the equity that you could have had. So please understand that. I understand there's also capital gains taxes if you sell prior to 2 years. However, that's on your profit, right? So if you have something that extreme that comes up, or an emergency, and you sell after 1 year, you're not paying much in capital gains because you might be breaking even on the house in the first place. But again, like, don't overthink, I need to get my feet wet. Just don't overthink that, and really strategize, and just understand that even people that are native of Colorado grow out of an area and want to move somewhere else. So don't give too much weight to that decision. I think a lot of it's just fear, or you're moving to a new place, you have a lot on your plate, you're getting a new job, and it's like, that's just one more thing we have to tackle. But that's one more thing that could be really building some wealth for you through real estate. Don't just not turn that stone because we're a little overwhelmed. Obviously, we're here, or whoever you are working with, allow those professionals to just carry the load for you. Make sure that you capitalize without putting a ton of effort into it.
And the other huge factor right now is interest rates. Interest rates are literally lower than they've ever been, and we don't know how long they're going to stay this low. They've been low for a while now. They're extremely low right now. There's some big changes coming up just in our world. Obviously, everything changed with COVID 6 months ago. Thankfully, interest rates have stayed extremely low, but you never know how long they're going to stay that low. And right now, I mean, man, people that could not buy a home last year or 2 years ago are way more qualified right now because of the interest rates. And here's the thing, if that interest rate goes up a half or even 1%, you're looking at being able to qualify for maybe like $60 or $70 or $80,000 less than with the lower interest rate. So the amount of home that you can get for a certain monthly payment is way more now than when that interest rate goes up, even just a little bit. Even with the same amount of income, same amount of everything, interest rates affect your purchasing power so huge. So that's why I'm telling people on the phones when we're having these conversations, if purchasing is on your radar at all, talk to a lender, get that figured out, and at
more
least
importantly,
turn that
talk
stone.
to a local lender. There are guidelines state to state that differ. You know, if you guys need any suggestions on that, we've got a phenomenal guy, Scott Leffert at Synergy One. What a phenomenal guy. Personally, he's probably done 100 deals for us, and he just crushes, and we don't make any money on him if he does a deal for us. There's no commission there. He's just a solid practitioner. He's great at what he does. If you guys need some of that contact info, please reach out. In regards to not buying, you know, like, let's go over some basics. I'll let you kind of cover this, but if you don't have consistent income or a job or certain things there, like, or we just don't have our taxes in order, if we haven't filed them or whatever, or you know, if there's some things there, I'm sure you can dive into some of that. There are some times where if you're just not in a place where you should be buying, could renting be an option to get yourself out here, to build up some credit, or to build up some financial stability with your new career, whatever it may be? The answer is yes. Let's kind of get into that as well.
So Colorado has really good renting options for people. There's a ton of apartment complexes going up literally all the time. There's a lot of rental property owners out here, so landlords, independent landlords and homeowners that have rentals available for you. So Colorado does have a lot of home buyers, which means that the renter market is, I mean, it's competitive, but it's not so competitive. It's not like New York where everyone's trying to get into one rental unit because that's what everyone does out there. So, you know, you do have some good options, but really, when you break it down, most apartment complexes are going to need you to make 3 times more income than what your rent costs.
So if your rent's $1,000, you got to make $3,000.
Correct. Yep. And
rent's not $1,000. That's just easy. It's just easy math. But if rent were $1,000, you just make.
Yeah. Well, and looking at that, if you're getting a $2,000 apartment,
you also need like a deposit. Sometimes it's first and last, or it's just first.
Well, look at this. If you're making it, if you live in a $2,000 apartment, which is not that uncommon around here. The average is about 1,400 to 1,700. Yep. That's $6,000 a month you got to be making. And if you're making $6,000 a month, you better be looking at buying a house, because you're seriously missing out on some equity.
Correct.
Not just saying that because we're homeowners. Real estate for us, we're both passionate about real estate because of the financial opportunities it provides for like normal people. That guy we talked about that made 72 grand, he's a chef, he's got a normal job, but he ain't getting a $72,000 increase per year, you know? No. And he's not able to just keep 72 grand and save that up over a year and put that in the bank. And
the bottom line is too, right? Like, understand we're talking in the context of Denver metro area of Colorado, where appreciation is 8%, 9%, 16% in some areas. If you're going to somewhere else other than Colorado and their appreciation is 1%, maybe, and you know, homes stay on the market for 90 days before they get bought, that's a completely different discussion than the market Colorado is in right now, has been in for the last couple of years, and will continue to be as long as there's influx and everything is coming in. So please understand, in the context of Colorado, owning a home is phenomenal. And it's because of the market, it's because of influx, it's because of the type of jobs that are coming here, and your ability to sell a home in a week, if that. Some homes out here right now sell over the weekend. And it only took 2 days because you were gathering offers, you know, but the one that you accepted came in 4 hours after it was on the market. I mean, it's incredible. Some things are really good. They're stable here. They're increasing. It's steady. A lot of great stuff. So again, but context to Colorado, this is not necessarily the best idea state to state.
All right. So one of the things I want to talk about here, my last point, is just kind of what it takes to actually get qualified for a mortgage and purchase a home, because it's usually not what you think. That was one of the things that I was really surprised at when I bought my first home, was how little money I needed down, how low the closing costs were, and just how easy the overall process was. So first of all, when it comes to talking to a mortgage lender, let's take our guy that we like to use, Scott, for example. It's literally a conversation. It's, hey man, this is what I'm thinking of doing. This is roughly what I make. This is roughly what my credit is. He doesn't have to do a hard credit check at first. He can do a lot of hypothetical situations for you, and then basically say, hey, if all this stuff is true, you're pre-qualified, not pre-approved yet, you're pre-qualified for this much to buy a house. That kind of gives you in the realm of, okay, let me jump on Eli and Will's website and see what homes are selling for in this price range. And then guys, there's down payment assistance programs if you're concerned about having a massive down payment, where you can put down as little as 1.5% to 3% to 5%. It's not like what your parents may have told you, where you need to put 20% down on a home. Not the case at all. There's a ton of.
They are going to tell you, we get this a lot too, especially because parents are still in your ear, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with referencing your parents, but your parents will tell you, yeah, you don't have to put 20% down, but if you don't have a certain amount of equity in that home when you buy it, they're going to make you have mortgage insurance, and oh my God, that's going to cost you so much. And listen, it's a couple $100 if that. The bottom line is, if you get an extremely low rate and you can qualify for the home that you want, you have mortgage insurance, you carry that until you have 20% equity in your home, and then you can release it. And if you're looking at how much you pay in mortgage insurance until you have 20% equity in Colorado, 20% equity in Colorado does not take you that long. And then that mortgage insurance goes away. How much did you pay? But was it the right time with great low interest rates? And did you get the home that you love? And you paid a couple $100 a month for 2 years? Like, it's not, you just got to run the numbers. It's not a terrible option. And a couple $100 for 2 years is definitely a lot more affordable than throwing 20% down on a home. So just please understand, like, there's a lot of different ways to work this and a lot of different possibilities. The bottom line is, you got to turn the stone and get some intel, and then with all the facts and what's specific to your situation, just make a right decision for you. Not for us, not for anybody else, but make a right decision for you. But make sure when you're making these big decisions that you're dialed in and that you have the intel that you need and you understand what this looks like for you. So that way you feel good about the educated decision that you're making, you know, moving forward. Yeah, it's a stone you definitely have to turn. And I think people just get in that trap of, if all you've done is rented, that's just where you go and you just rent. But the fact that you're watching this channel already shows that you're doing more due diligence than most people, and you're taking some maybe unorthodox approaches to your move, and you're listening to some locals that live in the area. And that's where it's like, cool, let me turn this stone. Let's talk to a lender. Let's see what it at least looks like, because here's the deal. And this is, again,
when I bought my first home, this is exactly what it was. I'm like, man, if I can't buy it right now, I at least want to have a game plan so I could buy. And then I talked to a lender, and it wasn't immediately, but it was like, hey, if you do this over the next 90 days, man, you'll be able to qualify. Sure enough, I was able to do that. And
I have a game plan.
Yeah.
Diving into that, you get a game plan. For those of you that are hard renters or whatever it may be, or are surprised that we're pro home ownership, don't be surprised. We do this for a living. There's a lot of wealth behind it, and you guys can do a lot of great things. So hopefully we didn't surprise you by being pro home ownership, right? Yeah. I don't think that was a surprise for anybody, but if it was, super sorry. Let me know what I can do to make it better. Text or call or email. Yes, the numbers below. Would love to make that better for you and have some coffee and explain some of these things. But guys, again, as much as we love making these videos and hollering at you and having a great time and giving some education, we would love more to help you guys with those needs. Yeah. So the number below, call it, text it. We do respond. We do take the calls, emails if you guys like, if that's more comfortable. Either way, we look forward to getting you guys out here to Colorado. We look forward to helping you guys.
We'll see you guys. Thanks for watching.
Later.